Happy Multichrome Monday and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be featuring the Best Mattes palette, which is a collaboration between Beaute Bar, Leigh, and Brittany Huffman. I will link all the information down in the description box. They are such amazing creators. If you love colorful eyeshadow, amazing blends, and just creative makeup, you definitely should check them out. Now this palette does come with a certain arrangement of eyeshadows, but these are removable pans and they don't have any names. The point is that you can rearrange these however you like. So I did rearrange mine already, kind of based on what I prefer visually, and I will also show up on the screen how it comes originally. And I absolutely love that these are magnetic. I think it's such a great idea to just let people have fun with this and do as they please. Also love that it's a all matte eyeshadow palette. I will also be including in this video the Unearthly Cosmetics Immortal waterproof liquid eyeliners. I did receive these in PR as well, and they have two sets of 4, so the Hex set and the Curse set, and these are liquid multi-chrome eyeliners, and so I thought it would be fun to pair with this all matte eyeshadow palette. And they have a brush applicator, so I'm going to be creating 4 looks, and then at the end of the video I'll give you some of my thoughts. Primed with the P. Louise paint in the shade 0.5, so I'm going to be just pointing to the shades, keeping in mind that mine is rearranged. But I'm going to be first dipping into this neon yellow. This is the B1 brush from Blend Bunny. And I'm just popping that onto the inner crease and inner lid. So this is not going to feature really any shimmers. I was contemplating in including the new shimmers from Lethal Cosmetics, but I'm going to leave those for another video. I didn't want to include too many products in one video and just kind of get overwhelmed that way. I'm going to be taking this darker teal shadow on the T63 brush from Makeup Shack, and I'm going to pop that onto the outer corner. And first just kind of packing it on, slash kind of swiping just a little bit. And just trying to lay it down first, essentially. I'm going to use this aqua shade to blend it out, taking that onto the edge. And of course I knew that these are going to be amazing mattes, because if you know Ellie and if you follow Brittany too, you know their blends are always flawless, absolutely flawless. So I knew they wouldn't come out with anything that wouldn't be just absolutely gorgeous and blendable. And these are so far blending like a dream for sure. So I'm just taking a little bit more of that teal, and I'm just going to make sure that it's blended on my lid into the neon, because I am not putting down a shimmer to cover anything up. So I gotta make sure that it's actually nice and blended. I'm gonna go in with Taboo for the eyeliner. Now this liner doesn't actually seem like, that it's got too much of a black base, so we'll see how that ends up. I don't love these kinds of applicators. I do prefer felt tip applicators, but it was pretty easy to use and I'm a little bit out of practice, so that's definitely a good sign. I got a little bit on my lashes, unfortunately. And I'm going to go in with Charm underneath my lower lash line. And just going to connect it up here. And here's the first finished look. For the second look, I'm going to be dipping into the purples, because I really want to use this multichrome liner in the shade Sorcery. It is just so beautiful and vibrant. I'm going to start with this baby pink, and it's going to go right onto the inner portion of my lid. And then next to that, going into this purple, and I'm going to put it on my lid as well, not just in the crease. And I'm going to wipe off my brush and then blend out the edge of that. And then next to that, I'm going in with this dark purple. I just want a little bit of this one, actually. So I'm just gonna put that right here, leaving space on my outer corner. Just gonna wipe my brush. Just adding a little bit more. And then taking the darkest purple, and it's gonna go into the outermost corner. And just kind of feathering it out with the same brush. Try to really blend it out. I'm going to go in with that purple that I went in with here. Just use that to feather out the edges. Taking that darkest purple just a little bit underneath my lower lash line just to slightly connect it, but not too much. And then I'm going to go in with the baby pink underneath the rest of my lower lash line. So I'm taking Sorcery. It looks like it has a little bit of a straight hair on it. Hopefully that won't cause any issues. And it's actually kind of more blue than purple, but that still is perfect. And I'm gonna first just draw a really long wing. And then, oh, I haven't done this. I'm really out of practice with like graphic liners. And then I'm gonna take it across my lid and connect it. Also doesn't help that I already have lashes on. Just connecting it. I do feel like this might be a little better over a black eyeliner actually. I can kind of see through it a little bit. It's not fully opaque, especially out here on the outer corner. I'm not sure if that's translating to you or not. And then taking it underneath my lower lash line just a tiny bit. So I'm just gonna extend this out here. Okay, next I wanna connect it. So I'm gonna go this way. And I'm gonna make sure I go like a little bit above my hood. But I actually kind of wanted to end there, so that's pretty good. So I'm just gonna go in and finesse this a little bit. Just gonna take it a little bit more up here. And I want it to be kind of like thick to thin. I think that's good. I like it like that. I think I'm gonna leave it. Here's the second finished look. Prime with the P. Louise again. I'm gonna go in with this olive grungy green shadow, and it's gonna go right into my crease. I'm actually gonna use one of the Multichrome liners on the lid as an eyeshadow. I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit on my lid, just kind of blending it downwards. And I'm gonna take this out here as well. So I'm of course going to be deepening this up a bit. Taking the green underneath my lower lash line. Taking this deep brown shade, and this is the warmer toned one. It's kind of like almost, I don't even know, it's like kind of reddish. And it's gonna go into the outer corner. And that's what I'm gonna be using to deepen this up a bit. I'm also going to take it underneath my lower lash line. Going back in with a little bit more. And then I'm going back in with the olive shade and just taking it onto the outer edges to help blend this out further. So I'm taking the shade Tonic, and this is basically like a purpley brownish based kind of color. And I'm just going to be using it instead of eyeshadow, essentially, just putting it all over the lid. And I can kind of essentially cut the crease with this since it has got a really thin applicator. And I'm going to take this out here, and I'm just going to kind of wipe off the accidental piece that I got out there. That looks so beautiful. Okay, so I'm definitely using a different shade on the other eye all over the lid because I am intrigued. Is this also a liquid multichrome shadow? Because, okay, let me let this dry. And here it is dry. I can definitely feel it a little bit on the lid, and I feel like it's accentuating my skin texture just a tiny bit, but it looks really beautiful. Oh my goodness. And here's the shift. Onto the second look, I'm going to go in with this bright neon orange. It's going to go right into my crease. And I'm going to be playing with the red for this look. This is definitely a neon, as it's performing like a neon. But it's blending out so nicely. See a little bit of patchiness, but I think that's because my eyelid might be a little dry. That gave me a really nice wash. I'm going to go in with just a little bit more and really just stamp it in. That is super bright. I'm going to put that onto the out. Ooh, look at that. That's beautiful. And I'm putting that right into my crease and a little bit into the outer corner. And I'm just going to wipe off my brush, and I'm going to slowly start working that upwards. And I feel like I'm having a little bit of patchiness, and I think it's because this is getting layered over a neon shadow. But I'm going to be putting a shimmer all over the lid anyway, so I'm not really too concerned about it. So I'm going to take this red underneath just a little bit, just a hair. And then I'm going to blend into the bright neon orange. love these two together, and I'm just kind of blending it further out here as well. Picking up the black from the palette, and I'm just gonna align my lash line a little bit. I'm gonna try to like deepen this up just a tad, just out here, like right along my lash line. Just a little bit here, and then of course extending it down underneath my lower lash line. And I'm taking a really small blending brush, and I'm just gonna blend that out here. Just for a little bit of like a smoky outer corner, a little bit winged out as well. I'm just gonna go back in with a little bit more of that black, but try not to take it too far and let it like take over the look too much, and then just going back in with a little bit more. I'm taking Jinx, and I'm just gonna put that essentially almost all over the lid. Obviously it would be a little bit easier if it wasn't so skinny, but this way at least it gives you a lot of control and placement. So I'm just kind of swiping it all the way around, and I'm gonna bring it up a little bit higher. So just a little bit here. I'm gonna take a little bit of Immortal and just put it along my lash line. And I'm going to kind of move it around a little bit with this brush. Actually, I think I want to put that along my lash line up here as well. Really like the way that that's smudged. Okay, that was kind of messy, but that's fine because, like I said, I'm just going to smudge it. Ooh, I really love the way that that looks. And here's the second finished look. This shadow is especially shifty. I mean, whoa, look at that. All the way to green. First, I'm going to talk about the palette. So far, really enjoying the mattes. The neons are obviously neon, so I think those are maybe a little less buildable and blendable, though they do definitely pack a punch. As you saw in the looks, I love that we have some really bright colors as well as some more grungy shades in here as well. So it's not necessarily another rainbow palette because it's more of like a rainbow grungy palette, if you will. Stay tuned as I will be definitely pairing this with some Multichrome shadows in future videos. This is definitely going to become kind of like the Blend Bunny palettes, the Blends palette, as well as the other palettes where I just really feel like reaching into them for the matte shades. And I'm so excited for Ellie and Brittany on this beautiful collaboration. I'm so excited to see them do a larger all matte eyeshadow palette, as they are the authority on beautiful blends. Onto the Lethal Cosmetics liners. They have done some Multichrome liners previously. I have them here. Actually, I had a different kind of component, and these are a bit different. So these were a little bit chunky. They did accentuate skin texture a little bit. I believe I featured them in a video, but that's what I remember my experience being. These are, however, really sparkly. The applicator on these was also much longer, and I just felt like it was even harder to control, especially because you can kind of see it's a little bit chunky on the brush versus these. These are like truly liquid, while these had a little bit of texture to them, almost kind of like a flaky version of a liquid eyeliner. So I think that these are for sure a step up. That being said, I do think that if you put too much of this on, you might accentuate some skin texture accentuation. I definitely can see it a little bit, and I feel like that's usually just how it goes with anything that's liquid and dries down. I'm especially happy with how these two looks came out. I really like these all over the lid. I personally don't really do eyeliner too much, and if I do, it's usually just a simple black liner. They do completely dry down. Are they waterproof? I'm not sure, but they were definitely a little bit harder to take off with a makeup remover. So let me just rub my finger all over, like really rub it. I already took pictures of it, and you see there's nothing on my pinky. Let me do the other eye, and there's nothing on my pinky. So these are definitely like really set. I highly doubt that these will crease, but I will keep you updated in case anything changes. So that's everything for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you picked any of these products up. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.